What's going on, y'all? Milos here, and we just witnessed, I think, a massacre with the Minnesota Timberwolves and Dallas Mavericks. And really, I say Dallas Mavericks, but in the first quarter, it was really Timberwolves versus Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic had 20 points in the first quarter, and he absolutely just demolished whatever the Timberwolves were trying to do.
Yeah, partially functional. Half of me is comfortable. The other half is close to the cliff, like Mrs. Huxtable. These boys got them hoses and clips. They pack like Lunchables, like white.
He outscored the Timberwolves himself 20 points to 19 points. And I think the Timberwolves just threw every defensive scheme that they could at him, and none of it worked. None of it worked. And with that, we have the Dallas Mavericks going to the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. Now, this matchup will be a very good matchup. A lot of people easily have the Boston Celtics because on paper they just look better talent-wise. But I would argue that Boston hasn't gone through any adversity this year specifically. They played in the first round. I already forgot who they played in the first round. They played Miami Heat in the first round with no Jimmy Butler. They played in the second round the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Donovan Mitchell got hurt later. In the third round, they played the Indiana Pacers with no Tyrese Halliburton for the last two games. And so they always played teams that had hobbled superstars and teams that really couldn't match up with them roster-wise. Now, the Dallas Mavericks was not the team I would have picked to come out the West. I did pick the Denver Nuggets, and the Minnesota Timberwolves did beat the Denver Nuggets. And so I thought the Timberwolves would beat the Dallas Mavericks, but Dallas has gained so much chemistry and so much continuity between each other, and they're all on the same page and all on one accord, with Kyrie and Luka Doncic leading this group. And also Jason Kidd, who is also a Hall of Famer, a point guard extraordinaire, and has won with this team in 2011. Now he's back to the NBA Finals as an NBA coach, leading Luka Doncic and coaching Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving and the rest of the crew. So I think the Mavs have a bunch of pieces that they can throw at Boston, but mainly they just have the two juggernauts, again, Kyrie and Luka, being able to score whenever they want. And really, in that series, it might be hindered by Boston because they have guys that they can throw at them. They have Drew Holiday, they have Derek White, they even have a Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown who also play defense. They have guys on the Boston Celtics that play defense well. And Dallas has guys now that are playing defense at an extraordinary level. And Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving have bought in playing defense. So this series, this NBA Finals is going to be an exciting one. Now, who do I have winning? I probably have the Dallas Mavericks in 6. And you're looking at me like, what's wrong with you? You just explained that talent-wise, Boston is better. Well, one, there's nothing wrong with me, I promise. But two, the Dallas Mavericks have a team that, if it gets close in the end, I trust the Dallas Mavericks more than the Boston Celtics because of the two closers that are on the Dallas Mavericks. And that's strictly the only reason. I think the X factor and the difference between the two teams is really Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving in the fourth quarter. That's the main difference. Now, if we were to look at which team is better, I think Boston's a little bit better than the Dallas Mavericks, especially since they've been showing it all year that they're the best team in the league. But when it comes to those moments, I don't think Boston is necessarily built for that. And it's crazy to say that because they've been to 5 out of 6 conference finals, and they also made an NBA Finals, so they have had experience at the highest level. But even now, I still see they make some of the same mistakes, and that's why I don't necessarily trust them. Now, I can definitely be proven wrong, and whoever wins, I'll be happy for both because I love both teams. I love the players on the teams, and really, I love both duos. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown versus Luka and Kyrie. I think it's going to be a great thing to see. And before I get out of here, I would just want to say to the Minnesota Timberwolves, hell of a season. No one expected them to be the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, and no one expected them to get to the conference finals in the Western Conference. They beat teams like the Kevin Durant Suns, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker led Suns, and then they beat the Denver Nuggets, who were the defending NBA champions. So props to them. They had a good run, and they'll be back for sure. They have a young budding superstar, Anthony Edwards, who already brought you to the conference finals. Pieces around him like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, a seasoned vet, Rudy Gobert, a seasoned vet, Karl-Anthony Towns, a seasoned vet. So they have a bunch of guys. Naz Reid, 6th Man of the Year, young guy, only 25 years old. So they have a bunch of guys that can go, and the Minnesota front office just needs to make sure they keep these guys, and they should run it back, because offensively they're a problem, and then when they lock in as a team and get mature, I think they'll be a problem for years to come. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Who do y'all think is going to win between Dallas and Boston? It should be an exciting series. We have to wait a week for NBA basketball, but I'm excited and I'm patient. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts, and until next time, Milos out.